Hi, Sue. You were asking some good questions in your email. So here's what I've been able to do so far. I took the form response from this sheet and I worked on them in the tickets to deliver sheet. And I added a number of new columns. The first one is the cash received column. The second, or check received. The second is cash. So, like before, whoever's receiving and giving out tickets and receiving money would print this whole thing, but they would also add these two parts, O and P, so that these two amounts or one amount could be written in next to the person's name. So if there's an order here for $60, it can be any combination of money that adds up to $60, or it can be only partial, and it'll keep track of that. The payment received in full box wouldn't get checked if it was only a partial payment, and so it would remain on the sheet for the next week, and it would give someone easy follow-up capacity. You had mentioned that there would be a foul-up with cash at some point, so it occurred to me that maybe it was as simple as something got left out on the accounting, and one of the easy ways to find something that's been forgotten is to look for lack of balance. So in the event that there is an imbalance between the total order amount and the amount of the payments by whatever means, this flag in red pops up over here saying that the check and the cash don't add up to the total order. So that would give someone an easy way to look for this again at a later time. Now, the fact that this is checked is important because it means it makes it disappear in a later week. You can uncheck it and it'll come back and start continuing to reappear. The reason I did that, I'm bringing it up, is that I've brought another column into here, which is the date of the click on this. It actually just added that date in. I'll just do another one down here and you can see that work. The idea is that if somebody thinks that was the date on which the payment was made, then we now know when that was. And what we could do is we could take the sheet as a whole and we could sort by the time and date of the click and go back and look for a discrepancy in the sequence of things that we thought happened. Maybe that would help. I don't really know if that's really useful or not, but there's the possibility. We'll go back, we'll make this right so that that flag goes away. And you'll notice up here, this week's total checks, this week's total cash. This will change to $20 in a second. It has to think its way through for a bit. And it's going to do all 1,500 lines, but you know, that's just the way spreadsheets are. I should probably shorten it up. That's the total cash and checks for this week only. Now, unseen at this particular point is a whole bunch of other stuff above here, and I'm going to turn the filter off so that you can see it. So here are all the other amounts that have been added up. Because I can now see it, this formula is going to change these numbers and work it out and change them to be everything that's ever been entered in here. But you'd like to know what that is, regardless of what this person is doing with the sheet. So there are actually two summing formulas. One is a subtotal, which only works on what it can see, and that's how these numbers can be changed. So we'll go back to the undelivered view. And I'm going to hop down to line 1500. And you can see here that there's two sets of formulas. One says 60 and 20. Those are the subtotals. These are the total amounts that have been collected. I put them at this line this far down the sheet because I didn't think we'd ever get to the point where we have 1,500 orders. But you never know. Over here, I've flowed that information into the stats sheet so that it's right there, $22.80, $420, $2,700 altogether. And people have asked for tickets but not paid for them, worth $480. I thought that was some useful math for us to keep track of. This is good if we want to do the thing with ticket stubs. It occurred to me now that if I was collecting cash or someone's collecting cash and going to put it in the bank, we should be keeping track of what their how much that is. So this is a week when somebody is said to have collected $20, so it could be just a single $20 bill. So 20 times 1, $20 times 1 bill is $20. That works out, and right here is a little confirmation that you're right. When you're wrong, it shows something else. So let's just make it wrong. There's something wrong. The cash entered in the tickets and the delivery sheet, the tickets to deliver sheet, and the count. This is the count here, the weekly deposit, do not match. I think probably just deleting that is better because it makes it yellow again. I'll go back, make it right, and so on. Now, once the person who does the ticket sales goes to the bank, the next thing they need to do is they need to say, well, how much did I deposit and on what day? And I thought that's as much a manual thing as anything. It could be automated, but it's a bit silly. So it would be easy enough just to punch in the date and then the $20, and then we'll see a running total cash on the side here. It's possible, I think, haven't tried it yet, to make copies of the weekly deposit and paste them in across the screen. But I'm not firmly sold that it's necessary. So could you tell me what you think of that? Is that useful, or is that just, being silly? Thanks very much. Good suggestions.